There are so many people that live in urban areas or lives in big cities. They're often asking, what do we do? How can we protect ourselves? Well, today's video, we're going to talk about just that. We're going to talk about what we need to do if we live in the city. All of a sudden, something like a SHTF situation happens, and then we are in a bad bind because we are sitting ducks right in the middle of the city. What are some things that we should be doing to make sure we are ready for anything that comes our way? This video, I hope, can help you figure that out and hopefully inspire you to start making some changes. Let's jump into it today. This video is going to be a good one. It starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe. I think it's like right there. Push subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let us know what you think about this video in the comments below. We're going to be doing a giveaway next weekend, giving something away to the subscribers of this channel and the Max Life, which is our vlog channel. Check both those channels out. Make sure you are subscribed to them and comment below. On both channels, I am subscribed. That will allow you to enter the giveaway, and we've been giving something away once or twice every month for really all year, so you could be entered into that. So check that out below. Now let's jump into the video for today. So how can we stay safe in the cities? How can we make sure that if we're in apartment buildings or we are in a place where we can't get out, what is our next game plan? Now, number one would be you got to just hunker down. If you're hunkering down and you're saying, okay, I'm inside my home, do I have all my necessities to get me through any tough time? We talk about this all the time. Food and water, you need to make sure you have at least 3 to 7 days at minimal. Now, I think you should have 7 years, you know, but beside the point. Let's work on a 3 to 7 day kit of food that all you need is just food, just water when it comes to having your needs met. Now, that's just one thing. That's the hunkering down food and water. What about sanitation? If you don't have running water, you need to make sure you have at least a gallon of water for consumption per day per person. Then you need to make sure you have extra water to help you either flush the commode or make sure you have a sanitary way of cleaning yourself and having some hygiene. Now, you also need to look at having a portable style toilet. If all of a sudden something bad happens and the sewage system stops working, that's a bad issue. So I always challenge you to keep some extra Walmart bags. I know this is graphic, but you need to keep some extra Walmart bags. Buy one of those little camping Coleman toilets, have a 5-gallon bucket. You don't realize how valuable that is. So we're talking about hunkering down inside food, water, sanitation. You need to make sure you have all your needs, such as bathroom and hygiene needs, food and water. That is number one. You got to make sure if you're in there, you got to have everything you need. Water, 1 gallon at least to drink per day per person, plus another gallon or 2 per day per person for all the needs of sanitation and hygiene. Number two, you have to beef up your home security. So this is where you've got to ask, either if you're a tenant of a building, is it allowed to modify my windows and doors? Or if you own the place, then you need to do it anyway. Now I'm going to show you, here's some brackets right there. You can buy these brackets on Amazon for literally like $20 or $30. I will link it below. You could put 1, 2, or 3 of these on each of your doors or windows and basically use a 2x4 cut or just of length, help strengthen your door and windows. And that way, if someone is trying to get inside, they won't be able to. Now, you've seen my video on home security. You need to go back and check that out. We have window screens, metal screens, and we also have double insulated wood doors that have welded on hinges. But we also have those little 2x4 brackets, almost like a old cabin style door that you'll see in the olden days. That's the best way to make sure that you're reinforcing the door. So you need to do that. Now with windows, same way, you need to have those private screens if you can, or have the breakaway tape. They make a little kind of like a film that goes on there that would help hold your glass for a season. That's 2 ways to beef up your home. Think about fire. Are you safe if all of a sudden a fire breaks out? So do you have an extinguisher, like a fire extinguisher? That would be an excellent thing to have. Do you have a carbon monoxide detector? That would be an excellent thing to have. And do you have some kind of respiration just in case you had to hunker down, you've got your food, you've got to maintain safety too. Talking about hygiene and sanitation. So think about that. Beefing up your homes, but also making sure you're covering your bases inside that home at all times. No matter if it's apartment or a home, you need to make sure you're protecting your windows and doors, reinforcing them. Next, you need to know your laws for your city, state, or the area you're in to say, okay, can I protect myself? Can I practice self-defense? Learn how to use a stun gun or a pepper spray or a self-defense tool with a lot of brass. I would challenge you to learn those things. You need to understand how to be independent when it comes to self-defense. If something bad is going on and everybody is vulnerable, do you honestly believe your one apartment or your one home is going to be the one that the police or sheriff or whomever is supposed to show up is also going to show up? That may not be the case. So you have to say, okay, I've got to take it into my own hands to make sure I know how to use some kind of self-defense tools. You could buy one of those self-defense bats, a baton. If you're really cool and like a samurai, you can use some sais or a katana. I don't care, but I'm saying you need to have some self-defense practice. Part of that training is learning maybe calisthenics fitness or some kind of karate, maybe some jiu-jitsu. I know you think that's crazy, but we need to understand that if we have to protect what we have, you have to learn how to defend what we have. One thing is the reinforcement and the security of the doors, having food, hunker down, but that's not all. You have to make sure that you're willing to protect it on the next level. So think of self-defense, think of tools you can use, think of things that are safe for you. If you're able to carry something like a self-defense tool, I think you need to learn how to use it. Go to some enhanced carry classes. Learn self-defense. I mean, if you live in the cities are falling to pieces as it is. You need to know how to defend yourself. Next, we talk about it all the time, but communication. If our phones are working, great. Excellent, but you need to make sure you have another form of communication. So you need to have an outside way of communicating. Maybe you've built that kind of prepper group or a community group that knows where you're at and knows how they can get to you if they ever needed to. Also, you may look at CBs or ham radios, some other kind of frequency that could help you get to safety or help you call and say, okay, I'm okay or I'm not okay, I need help. Remember, you're going to be depending on your fellow man or protecting from your fellow man. Police and firemen and sheriff, they're going to do all they can, but if in a situation where it gets really bad, these cities, like we've seen with riots and things in the cities, you're just one person in multitudes. So I don't know if they're always going to just run straight to you, because they may not be able to. They may mean well, but they may not can get to you. So you have to understand communication. So you can tell people, say, okay, I've got 7 days worth of food, I'm good. I've rationed, I'm 14 days in. I'm okay for 3 days. Hey, I have someone at my door, I need help as soon as possible. You can learn to communicate. Communication is key. Lastly, if all else fails and you feel like you're vulnerable, you've got to get out. So right now, today, whenever you're watching this video, you need to make sure you have an evacuation plan of your town, of your city, of your building, whatever it is. Because remember, when all else fails, you are dependent on yourself. Now again, spiritually, yes, we're dependent on Christ. But I'm talking about He's going to give us a brain and knowledge and wisdom to figure out what's best and the best way out of any situation. We hunker down, but to a point where if we start losing everything, we're rationing, or our building is vulnerable, we've got to go. So you need to have an evacuation plan. If it's using a bike, you need to have a bike. If it's using your automobile, you need to make sure you always have gas filled up in your automobile. If it's walking, you need to learn to be the gray man and understand that you've got to be safe in any facet of any situation you're going through. Do not bring attention to yourself. At the same time, you need to make sure you have some kind of pack on you for all those things that need to go with you. Your important documents, your self-defense tools, whatever it may be. Don't wear a Gucci purse or your Versace purse. Don't wear your bright colors. You learn to just blend in. You don't want to bring any attention to yourself at this point. So you need to have an evacuation plan. Maybe know some maps, maybe know some back roads. Maybe have some friends that you can build just in case you all get to one point, then you go together. It always works better when you have someone watching you and helping you at all times. So build that community like we talked about. And then one more bonus thing, we've mentioned this in several videos, but if you're locked indoors and you have no air, no heat, no sanitation, maybe you have all those things, we don't know, I would definitely have some kind of solar energizer or solar battery bank. This is a game changer, because not only can you cook, heat up water, not only could you have a little fan on if it's 150 degrees outside, or if it's just sub-zero temps, you have a way to put a little heater on there. You need to have a way to have an alternate energy source in your home at all times. Now that's one thing you would probably have to leave behind, especially if you're walking out and evacuating. But you need to have something to be able to give you some kind of alternative energy source. Now, at our home, we have a battery bank, we have a solar bank, but we also have a propane and gas generators, both full of propane and gas, and we have big tanks for that. However, I don't live in the city. So if you live in the city, you are constrained to space. Look at some of these little backpack battery banks or these little solar generators. They're perfect for you. So our goal is to give you hope, and it's to help you out. A lot of you live in the city, and you got to have these things kind of nailed down. No more crutches, no more excuses. We always want to make excuses. I make excuses to this day. It's raining outside, I don't want to get out and do it. It gives me an excuse to stay inside. No, get out and do it. Same way when learn the plan, learn the things, practice your preps. You need to have these things nailed down so that way if something happens and you're in the city, when something bad goes down, you've got to either hunker down and know what you need and know that you have it without having to go get it, or you need to make sure you have a strong evacuation plan, looking like the gray man, being very inconspicuous, and making sure you are getting safe. These are some good bullet points to go over and say, okay, do I have this, 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 this? What can I use doing this, 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 this? We talked about heating the other day and cooking indoors. Look at the little sterno candles, look at little propane burners. All those things can be utilized inside. Just be careful, but you got to have a plan. Start building a plan and start making sure your plan is intact, because at some point in time you may have to use it. If you don't believe me, think about the cities back in 2020. It was dangerous. We're in a more polarized world than we've ever been, and guess what? It's going to get worse. So first of all, I tell you, hold close to your Bible, live a spiritual life focused on Christ, but he gives us knowledge, he gives us wisdom to say, you know what? We can do this. It's time for you to do it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe. If you like this video, let us know what you think. Also, if you like this video, check one of the cards that's going to be on here. Watch one of those videos, comment on those, and go check out our other channel, The Max Life. Thank you guys for watching. God bless.